What's up, everybody? This is Fred Ricciani of TSC News. I have right here on the line a very special guest. He has a brand new show by the name of No Limits coming out this Friday night on Animal Planet. He is also the current TNA Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. I'm talking about our guest today, Showtime Eric Young. Eric, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, and by the intro, I'm doing really good, man. I got a lot on my plate, so it's been a wild couple months for me.
Yeah, I mean, these last couple months, TNA World Champion, brand new show with Animal Planet. Can you describe these last couple of months?
It's hard to describe. I don't really remember a lot of it. It's happened so quick. But yeah, professionally, obviously the best couple months of my life. The show No Limits coming out. Super proud of it. It's an amazing show. I like it because it's like anybody can watch it. Men, women, children. Older people, younger people. It's just a fun television show. So yeah, I'm proud of it. And becoming world heavyweight champion is that's a lifetime of work. It's a dream I've had since I was 5 years old, and it came true. And it's an amazing feeling.
And how did No Limits concept come about? Because you had a previous show with Animal Planet where you were kind of put in danger every now and then. And, of course, in pro wrestling, you're always taking risks. Did you call them up and say, hey, guys, I have an idea where I'm going to risk my life yet again? Or did they come to you?
It's kind of a continuation of Off the Hook Extreme Catches. That was a fishing show, and we not to our detriment, but we set the bar very high in that show. The first episode was catching sharks from a paddleboard, and we did freediving under the ice and all this really crazy stuff, and kind of ran out of the really, really crazy stuff to do in North America. So this was kind of like a natural transition into it's an adventure show where we find crazy people that are doing crazy things, whether it's extreme or singular or dangerous or interesting or whatever the case may be. I go to wherever they do this thing. They teach me how to do it, then I do it with them. We've done, powered street luge and rock crawling and slacklining. We've done lumberjack Olympics, ostrich racing, python wrangling. Like it's a really wide list, but it's all got the same thing as I put myself in danger to experience something cool and make a good television show. So I've always been a bit of an adrenaline junkie anyways, so I'm just getting paid to do stuff that I like, to be honest. It's awesome.
Very cool. Now, is snow kayaking by far one of the scariest things you've ever done?
Snow kayaking was wild, and I actually came really close to the world record, actually. I didn't break it, obviously. The guy that we went with, he still holds the record, I think, at 52 miles an hour. But I went 50 that day, and that was on a radar gun. So I was 2 miles off the world record. So I'm breaking records all over. World champ. I almost broke the record in snow kayaking. I'm the ranked second fastest in the world for powered street luge too. So it's pretty crazy stuff, man.
And how surreal is it these days to be recognized as the Animal Planet host as opposed to the TNA Impact wrestler?
Yeah, it's both are amazing. It's very crazy because I do get recognized everywhere now. Whether it's it's a 50-50, it's either wrestling or from the Animal Planet show. It's like I consider myself a celebrity on like a smaller scale, but it can be very strange going and there's always someone that recognizes me. They usually have good things to say, so it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I'm doing my job, but it can be kind of surreal sometimes.
Very cool, very cool. Now, is there anything that you've done in this show, not to spoil it because it is coming up this Friday, but is there anything you've done in this show that matches some of the craziest stuff you've done in wrestling as far as risk-taking and adrenaline rushes?
Definitely. That's what the show is designed around, like finding the craziest stuff. The premiere episode is slacklining, where in a day I learned how to do basically your tightrope walking, and the rope isn't tight. It's it's a ratchet strap that's about 1.5 inches wide. I've never done it before up until that day, and then I tried to walk across a canyon in the Canyonlands with a 400-foot drop. So you're tied in, and it's relatively safe, but it's wild getting out there. The wind's blowing, 400 feet above, a pile of rocks. It's maybe the most scared I've ever been. And I'm not scared of heights, but 400 feet it's a long way down.
I can imagine. And when you were doing the snow kayaking, of course, you've had the epic beard for a number of years now. Did you feel like it protected you, or was it more of a hindrance when you were going down that huge hill?
It's I get that question a lot. It's actually in the winter it actually really helps with like blocking the wind and like protecting your face. And people are like, man, doesn't it get hot in the summer? I actually don't even notice it's there. I've had it since 2009. So, and I definitely had it when it was weird. I'd be at the grocery store and people would kind of get out of my way. I looked untrustworthy or whatever. So, beards have become a massive thing. Like they're everywhere. The Boston Red Sox made it a very mainstream thing with their run in the playoffs and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's a beard brethren. Like you kind of we're all kind of linked in some weird way. Guys like Johnny Hendricks from UFC and Daniel Bryan from the WWE and me, and like we're all like kind of this beard brethren, and it's a cool group to be in.
TNA has given you a lot to work with. Some comedy, some serious. You've always knocked it out of the park, just like you have with Animal Planet. Obviously, you have the talent to succeed in show business, but is part of it also having the right attitude and willing to try new things?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think, like one of my biggest things for wrestling is my versatility. You want me to make people laugh, then, I can do that. You want me to make them sad, I can do that. You want me to make them upset, I can do that too. And that's something I've always prided myself on. And TNA has allowed me to play, like a really wide gambit of characters, from a superhero to somebody that was afraid of everything, to a crazy person that didn't understand what was going on, to a guy wrestling Scott Baio. And, I've held every belt in the company at one point or another, even a women's title. So it's I've experienced a lot. And, I mean, for me, that's what my life is about. That's my favorite thing in life, is experiencing as much things as I can. In wrestling, like, I haven't just been one Eric Young. I've been 20, 30 different versions of Eric Young, and that's cool. And it's the same with the show No Limits. It allowed me to experience all this stuff that I probably wouldn't have experienced, like rock crawling and in Moab, Utah, and snow kayaking and all this amazing stuff that I get to try and do, and I can, it's kind of like a notch on the belt, another notch on the belt, and on to the next thing. So it's always been about that in life for me, is experiencing as much as I can. So
I've asked a number of TNA wrestlers this question. I always ask them, who is the funniest guy backstage in TNA? And without hesitation, they always say Eric Young. Clearly, your comedic talents have translated to some awesome gigs with Animal Planet. Could stand-up comedy also be in your future?
I'm not sure. I've actually never tried it. It's something that's always come up. I love stand-up comedy. It's definitely, it's an art form. There's actually, technique to it. It's not just about being funny. It's, when to be funny and how to play jokes out, and there's a strategy to it. It's something that I've never tried, but I would be probably willing to try it at some point. But I know it's really difficult. Like it's a really, really hard thing to do. And Mick Foley has made a transition to it, and I know he talks very highly of it. The art form of it and stuff like that. So it's who knows, man. It's about experiences for me, and standing in front of a couple hundred people and everyone looking at you, and it's 1, 2, 3, be funny. That's an experience. There's no doubt about it.
Well, in a couple weeks, if you do survive the craziness of No Limits, you will be defending your TNA World Heavyweight Championship June 15th at the TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view against MVP. Obviously, I'm sure you look to retain that championship, but if I'm somebody that's maybe on the fence as far as ordering Slammiversary, tell us why we should purchase the pay-per-view.
Well, I mean, Slammiversary is TNA's marquee event. It's the big one, I know that ticket sales are going very well in Dallas. Texas is a massive wrestling state. For me, it's the biggest match of my career, and something that I can always promise in my matches is you will get 100%. I will give everything I have, which often is to my physical detriment most of the time, but that's okay. That's what I signed up for. That's what pro wrestling is, and it's going to be the biggest match of my life. I plan on retaining the belt. I plan on putting on a show, and I plan on people walking away from the show remembering Slammiversary, and more importantly, remembering my match.
Fans could also catch you in Manhattan, June 25th to the 27th, as well as August 5th to August 7th. New dates just added on ImpactWrestling.com. How's your body holding up with everything you're doing these days?
It's good. Yeah, it's surprisingly good. It's I'm really busy with the show, and it's a very physical show to make, a very tough show to make, time-consuming. And wrestling, everyone knows. If you watch it, you understand it's a very physical thing, and there is no off season. I was built to do it. I'm not super tall. I'm about 5'11". I'm thick and kind of built to take punishment. I've always been that way. I have a very high tolerance of pain. I actually had a disease when I was a kid called pupira, where all your white blood cells die, and when you recover from that, it makes you less susceptible to blood clots and bruising and stuff like that. So I'm like I think I said this on Steve Austin's podcast, I'm kind of like a Walmart Wolverine. I'm kind of built to do this kind of thing. So it's a good thing for me, for sure, because I'm putting the physical body to the test right now. That's for sure.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to seeing you each and every week on Animal Planet. No Limits premieres this Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Before I let you go, EY, where can fans find you online?
I'm on Twitter, Showtime EY. That's the best way to get a hold of me. I didn't know if I was ever going to be a Twitter guy, but I'm addicted to it. And it's allowed me to meet all kinds of people. You can talk with fans and talk with people that you're fans of, and it's a really good tool for advertising what you got coming up and meeting people and finding out opinion and stuff like that, and good, bad, or indifferent. It's a great place, and that's the easiest way for me.
Awesome, man. Well, actually, bonus question, because the last time you were on Animal Planet, you rocked a Speedo.
I did.
Could we see you bringing it back this time?
Well, I promised to wear my Speedo at Slammiversary in Dallas. That's see, when you wear knee pads, all of a sudden it's not weird. I don't know why that is, but when you wear a Speedo and knee pads and wrestling boots, it's okay. It's completely normal. But when you wear just the Speedo, it's real weird. But we cut down on the Speedo for this show. But I'm proud of this show, man. If you forced me into a corner and said pick one or the other, No Limits is it, man. It's a continuation of Off the Hook. There's 10 Off the Hook episodes that will air under the No Limits banner this season. Really great stuff. Catching sailfish from a kayak in Baja and just really wild stuff, man. I hope people like it, and I'm proud of it, man. I can't wait for it to come out Friday.
Well, if it's anything like the first episode, which I had the pleasure of witnessing, I think fans are definitely in for a treat. No Limits, Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Animal Planet. You can also catch Eric Young every Thursday night, Impact Wrestling, Spike TV. Eric, thank you so much for your time, man. Very happy for your success. I wish you all the best.